What is up, everyone, and welcome to Multiversus. I know I normally do Smash content on the channel, but I've actually been playing Multiversus, and as you can see in the title, I am currently ranked 848 in the world for doubles, which is the mode I mainly play. I don't really play singles because I don't find it fun, but this is going to be my Iron Giant guide. As you can see, I play mostly Iron Giant, and I wanted to show off why I play Iron Giant and my approach to playing him. So Iron Giant really has two ways that you can play him. You can be really aggressive with Iron Giant, or you can be really passive and camp out. I'll make a video going over his perks, but quickly, these are the perks I use. I use Afterburners, Tasmanian Trigonometry, Coffeezilla, and Last Stand. Basically, the most important one for your actual gameplay is going to be the main perk, which gives you the ability to create this flame wall that you can see here, and this is how you're going to camp with Iron Giant. Obviously, you can throw his projectiles using like that, and you're going to collect them obviously to get up your bolts, but you can play behind your fire and you can space people out with all your moves and just kind of camp behind the fire, because as soon as they go through the fire, as you can see right here, you'll start taking passive damage, which kind of slowly racks up, especially since you're not going to be playing a really combo heavy character. The next part, if you want to play aggressive, all your combo starters are going to be from down air. Against certain characters, you can start combos off the ground with nair, but most of your combos, like I said, are going to be the basic bread and butter is just down air to nair into. You can do pretty much anything out of that. You can do down air into forward air, down air into that up air, which is really strong and what you're going to go for in the kill throws. When you want to do the other attacks, like for example, when you're kind of getting pressed, that's where your bolt move come in, or your neutral B. Bolts are basically your only escape option as Iron Giant, so you're going to want to preserve them really carefully. It's why I run one of the perks so the cooldown is less. But whenever you use your bolts, there's two different things I like to do. So when you're in bolt form, you're more invulnerable than you are normally. You can't really be hit. So once you use your bolts up, you're going to want to be able to have at least two in stack, just so you'll be able to actually you want to have at least two to use again to protect yourself, like if you're getting comboed, which is really common with Iron Giant. So what you're going to want to do when you use your bolts is either go for a down air to set up your flames again, so you have the option to, or you're going to want to go for your down V, which will either do a lot of damage or send them flying away. Or another thing I like to do right when you use your bolts is quickly plant a metal tree and either farm one or two bolts, so that way you can play offensively again, and when the time is right and you need to use your bolt again, you can really quickly, and it won't be hard to use it again, especially if you're continuously farming. Once you just need to be able to keep in mind when you have your bolts and when you do not have your bolts, because when you have your bolts, you are at a much better advantage. Now, the next thing that you're going to need to know about Iron Giant is his up B, which is honestly one of his most underrated tools, and at high level Iron Giant players you'll see using a lot more than low level Iron Giant players. But up B is actually really good. At first you might think, oh well, if you use up B on the ground, you're not getting anything, but a lot of people forget that when you use up B, you actually you can actually angle it downwards. So as you can see here, you can angle it down up, you can angle it up like that, when you can use your fuel to go higher. So on the ground, you can actually use it if you space it properly as an approach tool. That's a pretty invulnerable escape tool unless they dodge through, which you can instantly, as you can see, you can instantly dodge out of it. So you can use this option really easily to try to space your opponent out. And on certain stages like the Batcave, which is Iron Giant's best stage, literally for this one reason, there are certain advantages to having close side platforms or side blast zones, because then you can pull off super combos. For example, if you can grab them with your side B, which is one of Iron Giant's best setup moves, you can do down tilt into something like this. And obviously on these small stages, like once you get them if you can get them onto the car at higher percents, you'll be able to you can do this at 0% and they will die as long as you do it correctly. As you can see, it's really helpful for Iron Giant to have these super small blast zones. This works on a few other stages, mainly all the stages except the treehouse stage, and I think it will work on most other stages as long as you get them to the side. Another helpful thing about Batcave is that it also has low high blast zones, which means up air will kill off the top extremely early like that. That's one of the main things about Iron Giant that you want to keep in mind, is using the side blast zones and the top blast zones to get easy kills with up air and neutral B. Forward air off the side, if you go really far out, can also kill, which is also another really good thing. So if you're playing on Batcave, make sure to try to keep these alive as long as possible and not make it apparent if you're trying to go for the cheese up here, because once they know you're going for the cheese, they'll probably avoid it. Now, using his rage meter is pretty easy. There are some simple inputs like the missiles, which is just up A, which is near normal. You have hold charge, which is your stun. While you're in this form, you can use down air, forward air, and nair from your neutral moves. And when you use your up B, it'll be the static shock right above your body, which you can use while moving, kind of. So what you could do is you could use up B right here, and you'll land right on Shaggy, and it will static shock through your body. But the main thing you're going to want to do once you get your rage meter is obviously jump back and jump back again, and use your missiles and just kind of spam your side B to entrap them. And once they're in the green bubble, I like to just go for the down B because it's the most reliable move. And now the biggest problem is movement with Iron Giant. As you can see from the perks that I'll make a separate video about, Iron Giant perks are very special because you need them a lot more than other characters will, I'll say, just because of how slow he is and how many disadvantages he has. For example, against Shaggy, who isn't even the strongest combo character, you're gonna get comboed a lot, especially if they both focus you, which is one of the main abilities that you'll need for bolts. So for example, if you start off the match and Shaggy, and say you're playing against the Bugs, they both start attacking you and comboing you, I don't recommend using bolts at the start of the match because it puts you at a weird time frame where your percentage does not match up with how much bolts you need, because you'll end up not having the bolts when you actually need to survive, because at low percents they can't really kill you. That's where you have to rely on your teammate to kind of help you out of there, which is why at the start of the match it's so important for Iron Giant to choose his options wisely. You could either space him out to keep him away from you with fair and up tilt, or you could try to play passive behind your walls. You could go pretty aggressive and high with down air, and you could go for a down B. But obviously all these options involve risk, which is the biggest problem with Iron Giants. Now for the final thing is what to use bolts is usually you want to use bolts after they do their first combo on you. So for example, you want to try to preserve bolts for as long as possible, especially if in twos. If you can get to rage meter and still have bolts, that's great, because you can do your spacing and there's nothing they can really do, because if they come out and attack you while you're doing your spacing, you can just use your bolts and then punish them with a downer, and things will get so chaotic that by this point, if you've been playing correctly, your opponent or your teammate shouldn't be at much damage at all, because they've either had to focus both on you or they've been taking damage from you, which means your teammate is free to take a stock. And on certain stages like Batcave, even if you're down a stock with Iron Giant, you can always rely on the cheese strategies to get a quick grab and instantly go over to do your up B combos. Grab is also useful for getting kills at high percents. It sets up into certain kill scenarios. The only problem is that it doesn't super combo into anything that I've found so far. You can do in the down B from the ground. The combo hit from the actual hit does not actually combo on most characters. You can just mash dodge out of it. So the best strategy that I've found, obviously once you get to high percents, they'll fall out of the up B. So the best combo strategy I found is to just do up throw. They usually die past 140%. But that's the basis of how to play Iron Giant 101. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and stick around for part 2, which will cover all of Iron Giant's perks, which ones are the best and which ones I do not recommend using. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.
BRBS, there's a man riding a horse on top of my chest. Polo fresh, I empty mine. I'll be slam dunking, tangerine shots when you grind. Told niggas keep it Carmelo, okay? Roll past days, told them hello and hey. Me and Cash is something old on 23's hold back when don't say mama Mel beat you.